It's one of my very favorite desserts.
Today we are cooking a full gluten-free Valentine's Day dinner. With every meal I make, I never want anything to feel like it's the gluten-free version of something that should be glutenful. If you don't know me, hi, I'm Nicole. I have celiac. I bake and cook everything gluten-free, and I'm sharing everything that I know with you so that you don't feel like you have to sacrifice anything if you're making food or baking anything gluten-free. We are staying home this year for Valentine's Day. My kids are super excited about Valentine's Day, so we're just going to celebrate all day Saturday with them, and we're going to do a candlelit dinner at home. I'm really excited about it because you only have so many years where kids think that this kind of stuff is fun, and they want to spend holidays like Valentine's Day with their parents. I'm going to make a really nice dinner for the family so that it feels really special, but I'm also a mom of 2 little kids, so I don't have a ton of time to spend in the kitchen. It's all about making things that feel really elevated, but actually they're pretty easy to pull off in a short amount of time because I don't have a lot of extra time to spend in the kitchen. There's one thing you have to have for Valentine's Day, and that is chocolate. So we are making a flourless chocolate cake with a
Absolutely. Perfect.
But what we're going to do, because I'm serving this for little kids, so we have to give like a little element of fun. We're going to make it in a muffin tin instead of a cake pan so that we have little individual flourless chocolate cakes. Just feel a little bit more fancy than just like a normal chocolate cake. One of the foods that my son does eat, surprisingly enough, is salmon. So I'm going to do a seared salmon with an orange glaze over the top and an arugula pistachio salad on the side. I'm Nicole and I share gluten-free cooking, and all the food that I put out, I never want you to feel like you're sacrificing anything because it's gluten-free. So I share all sorts of gluten-free recipes as well as baked goods and all the lifestyle stuff that just comes with being a stay-at-home parent of 2 little kids. I'm so glad that you're here, and let's get started on this gluten-free Valentine's Day dinner. First thing you're going to do is you're going to melt your butter and your chocolate together. You can use a double broiler, but I'm going to use the microwave because it's so much faster. All right, we're going to do 8 ounces of chocolate. I just grabbed this Better Goods chocolate from Walmart because it was gluten-free, so I'm interested to see how it tastes. It has a pretty design on the, how pretty this is. It has a pretty little design on it. Instead of just having like the little marks where the chocolate bars are, it has this pretty little design of cocoa beans. That's so cute. I love whenever ordinary everyday things are made beautiful. It makes me so happy. You're just gonna wanna cut it up because it just makes it so much easier to melt. Put this in the microwave and do little 15-second intervals until it gets melted and glossy. Glossy and beautiful that is. Gorgeous. Oh, okay. I'm mix in 3/4 cups of sugar. We're just gonna do a little bit at a time and stir it in really well to incorporate it all. All right, we're gonna do 2 teaspoons of espresso powder just to give a little bit of that depth of flavor. I think the coffee and chocolate flavor is just absolutely, it cannot be beat. If you're like me and you forget to set your eggs out to come to room temperature, you can just put them in a bowl of warm water and they will be perfectly room temperature by the time that you are ready to use them. You wanna make sure that your eggs are warm enough whenever you add them or your chocolate will seize up on you. If your eggs do seize your chocolate, you can fix it by putting it back over the double broiler or popping it in the microwave for a few minutes. You really shouldn't do that. Or you can use an immersion blender. But we just want to prevent it in the first place, so make sure that your eggs are warm. Spray our pans, even though this is non-stick, still just want to make sure that these pop out really nice and easy. Use a measuring cup because I want them all to be the same. So we're going to go in with 1/4 of a cup to start. Put this in the oven, and while it bakes, we're going to get started on our raspberry drizzly sauce, and we're also going to make some homemade whipped cream. All right, let's make our raspberry sauce. So you're going to take 12 ounces of raspberries, and I just use a frozen raspberry for this because I don't think that a fresh raspberry is necessary to make a sauce, but you could use whatever you have on hand, frozen or fresh. We're going to do 1/3 of a cup of sugar, a tablespoon of lemon zest. that on a hyper time lapse on our video, so I'm not sure exactly what that's gonna look like, but scrape it off like this. See, we're making this little raspberry drizzle for our flourless chocolate cakes for Valentine's Day. Did you have a good Valentine's Day party at school?
Yes.
Yeah. This is our drizzle that we ended up with, and I think it's gonna be the perfect amount for just a little bit of something over the top with our powdered sugar and our whipped cream. Oranges. We're gonna take the juice from 2 oranges. Oh, these are beautiful. I always love to use a seasonal ingredient whenever possible because it just is gonna make your food so much better whenever what you are using is fresh and seasoned. Oh, gorgeous. We're gonna add some honey and some red pepper flakes. And then we're just gonna put this on the stove and just let it thicken. Most important thing about making a crispy salmon is you wanna make sure that you let it come up to room temperature or else it's not going to get crispy. It's gonna do salt and pepper. Don't want any flavoring that we put on the salmon to overpower the glaze that we're making. So we're just gonna go with salt and pepper. We're gonna let that sit. And then we're just gonna sear this for about 4 to 5 minutes on each side, and it is going to be perfect and beautiful. Trying to put a piece of dog food in her mouth. Look, we're getting ready to make this. Okay. For perfectly cooked salmon, layer the entire pan with olive oil and wait until it's shimmery. Cook the first side, the side that you want up with a good crust for 4 to 5 minutes on the first side, and then flip it and cook the second side for 4 minutes. This is going to give you a perfectly seared piece of salmon every single time. Ready? It's just absolutely, oh, she is beautiful. So good. It's one of my very favorite desserts. I remember the first time that I had flourless chocolate cake after stopping eating gluten after I found out I had celiac, and I'd actually never had it before because it was never something that I'd ordered before. I couldn't eat gluten. And I remember almost crying. Like, I was at this little restaurant in my hometown and it was this perfect flourless chocolate cake and they served it warm with powdered sugar over the top and blueberries drizzled over it with a little raspberry glaze, which is why I do it this way. And I just remember it brought tears to my eyes because it was the best dessert that I'd had since I became celiac. So it has a really special place in my heart and I hope that you enjoy this recipe. All right, let's get into the salmon. It's gonna be perfect. I love the crispy brown top. This glaze, look at this. Oh, look at that flaky, perfect salmon. Oh, flaky salmon, just gorgeous. All right, let's put some jam on there. Let's put some of the little drizzle, make sure we get a lot. I'm gonna mash a bite. This is the perfect Valentine's Day meal. You could add a side of like some rice or some garlic potatoes would be really good too. I just thought with the chocolate cake, this was gonna be enough for my family. So this is absolutely wonderful. I cannot wait to serve it to them on Valentine's Day. It's gonna be such a fun little night of us staying home on Saturday. This is a really good, like, easy way to get into spring foods. I feel like whenever you want things to start lightening up a little bit, but you still want a lot of flavor, you're using that in-season citrus, which is gonna be wonderful. That peppery arugula and the pistachios just take it over the top. All right, thank you guys for hanging out with me today. I hope you had so much fun hanging out in the kitchen and making this wonderful gluten-free flourless chocolate cake and salmon arugula salad. It's gonna be a great Valentine's Day, I know it, and I hope that you guys have a wonderful Saturday. Also, these bruises are just from Botox. All right, now I'm gonna go clean up all the dishes and try to get this mess cleaned up before my husband gets home from work.
because I think I used every single dish in the kitchen. All right, have a wonderful rest of your day, and until next time, happy eating. That's flourless chocolate